Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Architecture is more often than not associated with history, culture and heritage of a bygone era. However, with the advent of technological advances, environmental prerequisites and the changing nature of our cities, this creative and artistic expression has undergone remarkable changes. Indian architecture, predominated by vernacular designs in the past, has over the years shifted to modern style designs manifested by iconic buildings and innovative modern homes. To understand this ever-evolving phenomenon of architecture, a design talk was organized by Architecture + Design magazine and CERA, a leader in Indian bathroom solutions segment, where esteemed architects shared their experiences and thoughts on the future of architecture.
It is indeed very purposeful that Architecture + Design and CERA have joined hands to hold this event this evening to dwell on the theme, Shaping Architecture. But before we get down to the presentations, we'd first like to honor architect Ole Bouman with the coveted award, the trophy and the citation of the coveted award, the Golden Award for Global Contribution in Architecture of the Architecture + Design and CERA Awards 2013. May I please request His Excellency Alphonsus Stoelinga, architect Raj Rewal, to kindly come and present the award. I would also request Mr. Suneet Paul, the Editor-in-Chief of Architecture + Design, and Mr. K Shashidharan, Vice President Marketing of CERA, Mr. Piyush Sharma, CEO of Media Trends Asia India Private Limited, to please accompany them. Architect Raj Rewal is well known for his work both in India and abroad. He is an associate of Royal Institute of British Architects and a fellow of the Indian Institute of Architects. He has also taught at the School of Planning and Architecture in Delhi and at the MIT Boston. Some of his landmark buildings include the Hall of Nations, Asian Games Village, and Visual Arts Institute campus at Rohtak, among others. Mr. Rewal, if you could please come on stage and share a few words with us.
We are passing through a very interesting phase in the world architectural scene where it's become, as they say, globalized. Now, it's also a very interesting period in the history of architecture, and I would say it's a period in which there's going to be more building in Asia than anywhere else in the world. The period when Europe and America were building constantly in very large number is now going to be taken over in Asia. China has already built far more things than anywhere else in the world, and I think it's the turn of India. Slums or very low-cost housing is a major number one problem. 25% of the citizens, even of Delhi, live in really slums in every city. So that's number one problem. So when we are talking about the major thing, now this is another big problem which is shaping Asia now. Terrible traffic jams, pollution, I think is a problem. So I think when we are talking about shaping architecture, we should be very concerned about these values. Now, this is a particular situation from Seoul. Now, I want that this is something which we should be avoiding in India. It's a parallel blocks of one type design where all the poor people are housed very quickly. Of course, it's very efficient in terms of housing people, but it's a dreadful architecture and planning and urban design. I think in that context, perhaps I'm going to show a little bit of the Asian Games Village, which is a paradigm which is totally different from what has been done for housing. And I think I don't know if it's a kind of solution which we can do, but for a certain kind of a floor area ratio of 1.35 and ground coverage, I think it's a reasonable solution for us to pursue. Now, these are some of the images, but this is the kind of solutions which are, let's say, derived from not only Asian or Indian heritage, as I've often mentioned, from places like Jaisalmer, but generally very common in many other Asian cities, even European cities, particularly Italy. But I think if we have to do shape the architecture in Asia, particularly in India, because we are going to build much more, we have to come up with solutions which solves our problems in a very serious manner. Thank you very much.
Without taking any more time, I'd like to introduce our first speaker for the evening, architect Ole Bouman, who is the creative director of the Shenzhen Biennale 2013-14 and co-curator of the Finnish Pavilion at the 2014 Venice Biennale. He is jury member of various design competitions and member of reputed institutions. He has also served as the general director of the Netherlands Architecture Institute and is also the founding director and editor of the Volume magazine. Mr. Ole Bouman, may I please ask you to come on stage and share a few words with us?
Architecture is a discipline. Architecture is a profession. Architecture is a scene, a world in itself. And it's great if you can contribute to that world. But of course this world is not a goal in itself. This world has a reason. This world has a mandate. The people who practice architecture do have a purpose, a mandate to make better environments. And I would like to particularly highlight a specific practice that I think is very relevant to India, but it's relevant for architecture worldwide these days. It's not only, and less actually, about creating new objects, creating new environments, and try to make a kind of signature architecture. It's more and more about transforming the existing reality. So I came to India this time to moderate a debate in the city of Leh about the future and the transformation, as I promised you, the transformation of the old town of Leh. What to do with this magnificent small city. So we spoke with the people, tried to find common ground between different interests and do something purposeful with this city. So here you see how concrete can become an enemy to these local customs. When you think about the region, you think about the geography, some techniques in architecture that can be called universal do not apply to that local situation. Because this is how it should be done. It's almost handicraft. And this is how it should be done. To discuss with the people who live there, the inhabitants of the architecture, who should make sure, who should guarantee the long-term vibrancy, the long-term social fabric of that transformational process. So that's what we try to do on behalf of the Prins Claus Fund, the Dutch Prins Claus Fund, and some local organizations, together with the national heritage organizations, also a few people coming from Delhi, to discuss how to create that common page and how to create a strategy, to define a strategy to make something good for the future of the city of Leh. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm very honored to receive the award tonight and to get the chance to celebrate it with you. Thank you very much.
The objective is to involve architects. We always like to promote talent, young talent, and this is just an initiative that we have taken from the company to spread awareness, and also we will be awarding architects for their designs, for their innovative designs in 6 categories. So the awards function was held in Bangkok last year, and this year they plan to have it in Istanbul.
Architecture dwells in every human being. So you can't really sort of segregate a human being from architecture. Because nature is providing us, that's the inspiration that we have. Architecture plus Design, apart from being a pioneer in journalism and architecture, has also attempted to provide a platform for the diversity, to bring out the diversity in architecture.
To connect with the architects, we have decided to have various engagement programs. One of that is CERA Design Talk in connection with A+D magazine. We also instituted last year CERA A+D Awards. This year we will also be repeating that, and we will be having this for the years to come.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.